Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to another reaction video for today. And you know what? I was just chilling here in a bad mood. Just like, there's my AC. Now I'm in a worse mood. And so I was just like, I don't really want to record anything. And then I saw this pop up. I'm like, you know what? I've watched that trailer like 10 times. And I haven't watched a new Rockstar's video in like 40 years. So I'm like, let's watch this. Whatever. Let's just do it. I'm not in the mood to record a reaction for anything, but whatever. This is Deadpool and Wolverine trailer breakdown, Easter eggs, and details you missed. Why not? Let's watch it. Some people watch things. Did they do a thing yesterday? I don't even know. Maybe I should watch that instead. And didn't they do something? They did a reaction. What? Oh, I clicked shorts. No, they did a reaction. So, yeah, this is a video. It literally just came out 3 minutes ago. I was just about to record something else. And I was just like, I don't really feel like it. And then I saw this. I was like, yeah, let's watch this instead. All right, so let's do it. Link in the description, of course. Watch it yourself first. Well, let's just go for the 1080p, just in case I'm gonna go back. I'm sure. All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Welcome back to New Rockstar.
Hey, what's up, Eric Voss?
This is a frame-by-frame breakdown of the new trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine. I scrolled through this trailer to find every Easter egg you might have missed.
Oh, every single one? I missed almost all of them, as every comment will let me know in my reaction. You didn't miss, you missed this, you missed that. I don't know, man.
My time with this.
No, it wasn't every comment. It was like 2 or 3.
Because there are dozens of details.
I won't say what it is.
The obvious highlight cameos that I can't believe are hidden in this trailer. I'm going to cover it all for you, and you can support New Rockstar.
Let me know.
With one of our Deadpool and Wolverine shirts or one of our other Marvel designs over at nerdriot.shop. All right, let's get started. Red Band edition. Ooh.
I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one
more. As you can hear right here, this guy just said fuck. Will we get that Wolverine and Deadpool fuck scene that we all want?
I need you to come with me right now.
Okay, so the trailer opens in a bar in where else? Canada. There are Canadian flags hanging throughout the bar. There's also a Calgary Flames logo over Deadpool's shoulder. Canada is obviously important to Ryan Reynolds, where he comes from. But in the universe, it is the origin point in the refuge of Wolverine when he wants to go off the grid.
Why is this audio? Is it just me, or does the audio sound a little weird for him?
Logan from behind reminds us of the shot of
Logan. It's going to sound even worse considering I'm not using the headphones. So.
From the Wolverine Insomniac game.
I was thinking that too, also. I swear to God I was thinking that. I was going to say something about
right of Logan on this bar top is this jar with a label. Just put the tip in, see how it feels. And I'm pretty sure those are blue condoms in the jar. So obviously it's a sex joke, but this bar is double dipping on collecting tips while encouraging safe sex, which I imagine is completely lost on the barflies we see in the background of this bar. Of course,
okay.
We often see Wolverine in bar fights, from the 2000 X-Men film
when
he severed that shotgun to 2011's X-Men First Class.
Yeah, one of the best cameos ever. Fuck off.
And Eric to go themselves. To the 2013 bar fight with the dudes who killed that bear, and then the removed ending scene from the 2013 film that would have called back that same bar in the 2000 X-Men film. But I'm wondering, could this bar fight be the man with metal claws fights in bar brawl from the headline in She-Hulk? You'll notice Hugh Jackman in this movie is similar in appearance to that 2013 James Mangold Wolverine film, which, after the first 3 X-Men films and 2009's X-Men Origins Wolverine, was really the first to reconceive Logan.
Am I the only one who finds X-Men Origins Wolverine hilariously bad? It's so funny bad. It's beyond awful. Who you calling Blob? Blob? What, you fat asshole? I said Blob.
As a more grounded, tortured human just struggling with his aging body. And as I watch this trailer, I'm just reminded of how good of an actor Hugh Jackman is and how much he's bringing to this movie.
Should watch him in other movies. He's great in those too.
Now, this bartender tells Logan that he's not welcome here. He's not welcome anywhere. It's not really clear if Logan is being discriminated against as a mutant, or if this bartender knows that he's Wolverine and that Wolverine disappointed mutant kind by letting a lot of the mutants die. Or, Logan could just...
I have a feeling he knows he's Wolverine.
...be some asshole who doesn't pay his tab. But this bartender is played by Greg Hemphill, actor and writer from Still Game, but notice how his audio doesn't match what the bartender actually seems to be doing here.
That's trailer. That's like that happens in a lot of trailers where the audio doesn't match at all.
Told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere.
Yeah, notice how you don't really see his mouth move? And if he's cutting Logan off from drinks, why does this bartender reach for the whiskey to pour him another round? Really, I just think the bartender does say these words. It's just in a different part of the scene. And they're using trailer editing to reconstruct it here. Now,
that's exactly what's happening. He probably walks in and says, "You're not welcome anywhere," and then he tells him to fuck off of my bar.
The new poster released for this film on Sunday evoked the poster for the 2017 Logan film, the one that had X-23 Laura's hand.
It's such a great poster. That's one of the best Marvel posters.
And one of Wolverine's claws, and this poster has Deadpool kind of flirtingly stroking it with his finger. So despite Ryan Reynolds...
He should have put his finger inside of Wolverine's, like this.
Promising that they would not touch the events of the Logan film, they are totally going there.
Oh, that's right. I do remember this video where it's and then it doesn't like cut off, and then they explain what's happening or whatever.
And remember, the reason things were so nightmarish in that 2017 Logan film is that we learned in that movie that anti-mutant toxins had been fed into the food supply through corn syrup. But if Logan's diet consists mostly of aged whiskey, there's no way tainted corn syrup would have gotten into those barrels, especially if it was aged whiskey. So our man's really 12 steps ahead, and he's probably going to need to get started on the other 12 steps. And I like how Deadpool calls Logan,
if he learns about it, he ain't gonna
which is the nickname Scott Lang calls his daughter Cassie. And there is a giant Ant-Man corpse in this trailer, and I don't really know if it's connected, but we'll talk about it more later.
Which Ant-Man is it going to be, though? Because this could be...
Let's move on.
Look, lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick-tick, so upsy-daisy. Here we go. Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your forehead, I suggest you reconsider.
Okay, so Logan tells Deadpool, "Look, lady, I'm not interested," which seems like a dig at Deadpool's slim figure, but the Super Bowl trailer included a brief shot of Deadpool's gloves firing Uzis, and those were different gloves than what Deadpool normally has in this trailer, which makes us think that the rumors that we will see a lady Deadpool could be true, and that she might be played by Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively. Deadpool says that he's sort of on the tick-tick, and remember, with this new suit, Deadpool would have just come directly from the TVA, and he may have run into Miss Minutes.
Okay. No, please don't put any... They're already putting Loki stuff in, obviously, with TVA, but I'm hoping that's as far as it goes.
A TVA time clock and Miss Minutes on his mind, but Wolverine's adamantium claws only extend about an inch out of his knuckles, which Wade cannot help but make an erectile.
Is he also going to say something about Logan
dysfunction?
So that's why a lot of people are thinking it's probably going to be in between Logan and whatever.
Joke about. And in 2017's Logan, his opening fight with the
one of them doesn't come out all the way.
The road stop has a similar moment where
like
two
just
out of
one,
three claws extend almost fully, but the third one just gets jammed, embarrassingly. Deadpool points his gun at Logan's head, and you can see, smile, wait for the flash, engraved on the tip. And I like how Logan
I don't even think I read that.
To the gun with a smile forming on his face as if he's obeying these instructions and waiting patiently for the bang. Wolverine has taken shots to the head before, like in X2 from the Boston PD, where his healing ability pushed the bullet back out, or in X-Men Origins of Wolverine, where Stryker shot him with an adamantium bullet that wiped his memories. In the 2017 Logan.
Which, and then you see Logan... The bullet just explodes his head and he dies. To be fair, it was an X-24. But
which is implied will kill him, especially when X-23 Laura uses it to kill Logan's adult X-24 clone. But whether memory loss or certain death, Wolverine welcomes either result. Let's move on.
I mean, he wouldn't give a fuck, I would assume.
I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Such a good trailer.
Come again.
Okay, so we can't really play it for you because it's licensed music, but the music we hear throughout this trailer is Madonna's Like a Prayer, a 1989 title that was meant to be a reference to her breakout earlier hit, Like a Virgin. But for this song, Madonna's lyrics were meant to show her maturation with gospel elements, a song told from the point of view of a girl declaring her love for God, the only man in her life. But whether or not Madonna and her songwriter meant it sincerely or kind of, like subvertively, we'll never know. But the music video for Like a Prayer...
Well, Madonna's a fucking weirdo, so I wouldn't be surprised. And she's also really fucking annoying.
A black Jesus being crucified in kind of this flirty relationship with Madonna. And narratively in the music video, this Jesus was a scapegoat, falsely arrested after a bunch of white men killed a white woman. And this music video was very controversial. A number of religious groups, including the Vatican, condemned it. But Ryan Reynolds, I believe, uses the song of Like a Prayer in a few different ways in this trailer. One, he kind of uses it with this ironic...
Ryan Reynolds does? Is he making the movie?
Wink. As it is an 80s pop ballad, contrasting this aggressively violent virile energy of this trailer, but it does kind of feel like Wade is embracing.
He technically did Ryan Reynolds get like a co-writing credit or something like that, or additional writing credit or something because of some of the improv in the past ones? Wasn't there a thing saying like, yeah, there's not going to be any improv in this one, or like very little, which made me a little worried. But
the only man in his
and also,
life.
isn't also co-written by some of the people that did some of the other really, really funny MCU movies and stuff in the past. I don't know which ones, but I think one was She-Hulk. Wasn't the other one was it Ant-Man? No, whatever.
As Wolverine stands over Deadpool, kind of like a god finding a soul in the afterlife. But also, obviously, the song reflects the idea of Deadpool himself being Marvel Jesus. Now, what does he really mean by saying he's Marvel Jesus? I don't think he means he's like a hero or a god, but really like a sacrificial sin eater. I think it means that Deadpool's gonna try to take the place of Logan and every other Marvel anchor whose death results in the death of the universe. Someone online had pointed out that this day, 36 years ago, April 22nd, 1989, like a
I heard that was not actually that was an accident supposedly.
The Billboard charts beginning a 6-week run, but Ryan Reynolds responded saying that totally was not planned. Okay, we move on to the dusty wasteland of the Void, or just what we assume is the Void, because it does have like a different vegetation than what we saw in
20th century
Loki episode 5. Once again, we see the partially submerged 20th century.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that's where they are. Okay.
Fox logo, and the X of the word Fox remains visible above the ground, as in Fox's X-Men movies. They often would
fade out.
The X for a few frames on the opening fades to black. And ever since Disney's buyout of Fox, the division has been forced to drop the Fox and just go by 21st century. Also visible in this place is the tip of Toronto's CN Tower, obviously another Canada reference. There's also the stern of this vessel. I was trying to figure out what this was. I was wondering maybe it's the shell of the USS Eldridge from Loki episode 5 when Elias.
I thought it was gonna be the first class ship. But yeah, I actually totally forgot that even happened. Is it first class?
Maybe it's the helicarrier where Deadpool fought Francis in the 2016.
So is the boat in first class?
Deadpool. Either way, this is a pretty small ship. It's not like, the stern of the Titanic or something. And behind the 20th Century Fox logo, there's some mountain peak that we were not able to see
Mount Doom?
past trailers. Wondering maybe this is like Woundagore Mountain. The one where the Scarlet Witch supposedly died. Behind Wolverine, there is some kind of airship crashed into the mountainside. I was thinking maybe the Hindenburg.
Every time I think of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I roll my eyes.
If it didn't explode?
Yeah, I think people are not gonna like me for this reaction. I don't care. It's my opinion. Grow the fuck up.
Maybe it's that Hydra Zeppelin.
You go like it. I'm not fucking shitting on your opinion. Go ahead and enjoy as much as you want. I don't give a fuck.
A few frames of that alternate reality in Multiverse of Madness when Doctor Strange and America Chavez were just like tumbling through reality after reality. Like the 12
visually, this was cool.
Multiverse of Madness actually lived up to his title. Logan walks.
All right. So, he's negative.
Through this wheat field, gladiator style, with this row of endless pillars. These seem to be monuments or headstones for fallen X-Men. But the fact that they're all in a row at least reminded me, as a Lost fanatic, of that sonic frequency perimeter fence that kept out the smoke monster from one side of the island to the other. And I was thinking, hey, maybe this barrier could be in the void to keep Elias out. But looking at how surreal this imagery is.
It is pretty surreal. When I saw this, I was like,
for the void that we see Elias in the rest of the trailer. Looking more closely at these columns, each one kind of has almost a pyramid structure, and there's this vertical insert that is carved into the sides, and within each insert, in those shadows, you can see some kind of disc that I assume might be the plaque referring to the name that each statue memorializes. And I want to say that these columns almost look like the Sentinel ships from the opening prologue of X-Men Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past is so good. Maybe they just use those as their graves.
Maybe each one of these is for a different X-Men who was killed by a Sentinel or something like that. But if this isn't the Void, I wonder if this could be that kind of third act flashback that Deadpool jokes about in the other part of the trailer. Like, this could be a moment where Cassandra Nova projects Logan into the astral plane to make him suffer all the
This is definitely not actually happening. This is like a nightmare vision thing. It reminds me of Man of Steel when they go into that vision world thing and all the skulls go. I bet that's exactly it. I bet something like that's going to happen too. We'll see. That's where all those cameos we kept hearing about, like, Jean Grey's going to be in and all these other ones. That's where you're going to get. You're going to see those cameos here, most likely, and they're dead or something. And they could even tie it into like a Marvel Zombies thing, maybe. I don't know.
Allowed to die.
Not tie it in, but like they'll be zombies. So people are like, Marvel zombies, you know. So.
It's just so dreamlike and
there's
surreal.
a
It
show
kind of feels
out.
like the kind of thing that when we see the 90s X-Men animated series, like when characters are taken to the astral plane, it tends to be more surreal and metaphorical like this. All right, let's move on.
Looking forward to that.
Wolverine let down his entire world.
Yeah. What happened to him is no good, bro.
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go yourself.
Okay, TVA agent Paradox, played by Matthew McFadden, says this Wolverine let down his entire world.
Yeah,
and we see Wolverine face down on the floor of the TVA. So yeah, this is a one.
Some people kept saying that was the... I saw a couple comments saying that proves that it's not a part of the Logan universe, which doesn't make sense to me because people think he let people down in that also. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess it was more Xavier, but like it feels like that's a world where people would assume like Logan and Xavier and all these mutants let down everybody. You know, everybody's dead, so it's like one of those. I don't know.
One shot in both the trailers we've seen so far of Wolverine inside of the TVA. And notice how Paradox has taken a blow to the face with a Band-Aid covering a broken nose. So who is this Wolverine? I think we're looking at a Wolverine from a different timeline who failed to stop a grisly fate of all the X-Men. It could have been a mutant massacre on Genosha by Cassandra Nova. Or like a part of the timeline after the events of
X-Men 97.
The Future Past, where the X-Men all started wearing these brightly colored suits that were comic accurate, or maybe some incursion wiped them all out. It's worth noting that in the Genosha Massacre in X-Men 97, the Watcher was overseeing it, suggesting some kind of multiversal importance.
Ooh,
to this event. I just want to remind everyone that despite the Fox X-Men films seeming to have forked into 3 to 4 different timelines and it all being kind of confusing to the viewers.
Yeah, the Marvels fucking brought them in.
One thing that I learned from
brought Beast out. Is this when he like fucking knocks him out?
my rewatch is that from Fox's perspective, at least, they considered these movies to all be part of one shared history, a history that was weird but then got fixed or retconned by the events of Days of Future Past, and that in their
Days of Future Past is so fucking good.
eyes, First Class Generation, who we saw in X-Men Apocalypse and X-Men Dark Phoenix,
Yeah, we don't need to talk about those.
would have aged into the
Hey, you went from Days of Future Past, which is excellent, to Apocalypse, which is like it's not good, and then with the Dark Phoenix, which is really not good.
OG cast, but then just kind of lived on a different but normal, typical X-Men life path that would have led to the ending we saw in Days of Future Past, and then onto Logan. And that at this point in history, Mr. Sinister would have arisen as the big bad, who was behind this vast plot to experiment on mutants as the rest of mutant kind was bred out of the population through the food supply. But we just never got to see this Mr. Sinister plan because Disney bought Fox before a New Mutants sequel could have led to an Inferno Goblin Queen movie.
He's real confident that they would have done a New Mutant sequel. It's like there's no fucking way. After how bad that and Dark Phoenix did, there's no fucking way.
Was the original plan. So this Wolverine character,
the plan was that it wasn't going to happen though.
Timeline if it were allowed to live on and didn't end in the 2017 Logan film, or he could come from an entirely new timeline that we haven't spent a lot of time in. Maybe the X-Men universe that Monica Rambeau ended up in at the end of the Marvels, one that looks a lot more like the colorful X-Men animated series. So,
oh god, ew. I've seen footage of how Beast looks at the end of the Marvels because I didn't see the movie myself. I will eventually, but I've seen like cam footage, so it was just like it doesn't look very good. But now seeing HD, god damn! I mean, there's no way they'd get Kelsey Grammer to put all the makeup on. Well, first of all, he's like in his 70s, so he probably doesn't want to do it anymore anyway. But like they wouldn't do it just for like. Not even a minute long fucking cameo, but
ended up in
yikes! That looks like the fucking looks like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, the fucking live action one, and that looked terrible too.
Marvels, one that looks a lot more like the colorful X-Men animated series. So
and a lot more dog shit.
We see some great Wolverine Deadpool combat here. Wolverine swipes his claws at Deadpool, who ducks the blows, and behind Wolverine.
Wait, what? That's
Deadpool
great.
Combat here.
How come you didn't comment on that?
Wolverine swipes his claws at Deadpool.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly like, all right, the Flash Thompson
ducks
fight.
The blows, and behind Wolverine.
Oh, and they released this trailer yesterday, which was when Spider-Man 1 got re-released yesterday. All right, is he gonna bring that up?
Wolverine, an older ship with 3 masts and rigging is visible. We did see a similar vessel in Loki episode
I thought this was a Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
5 that I speculated could be the Santa Maria that was Columbus's flagship that struck a reef off the coast of present-day Haiti, and its wreckage was never recovered. And then on the far left, looks like a red and white striped circus tent.
Yeah,
and since Hugh Jackman's movie, I'm just gonna assume that it has to do with The Greatest Showman. Wolverine.
Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be Loki season 2. Don't they go to a... Wait, it wasn't a circus now. It was like a fair or some shit.
And plunges his claws into Deadpool's crotch. Yep.
Yeah, Grundle and Dick.
Deadpool fires his guns into Wolverine's sides, and then Wolverine flips his head back right into Deadpool's face. And for a single frame, you can see that the butts of Deadpool's adamantium katanas are initialed DR. Trying to figure out what this is.
DR. Is it D? You sure it's not P and it looks like R? Yeah, no, it looks like an R. DR.
It's maybe like Deadpool and Ryan. For what it's worth, in the past, Ryan Reynolds has said that his swords, at least his old ones, before these adamantium ones, those were named B and Arthur because Deadpool loves B. Arthur. So we see Wade sitting with Logan in his restaurant, and I love how Wade still has the staples.
Yeah, the staples. I love that. You see it in the interview scene in the first trailer.
In his head with chunks of hair from where his hairpiece was attached before the TVA hunter ripped it off.
So
and Wade wonders if we'll get to what's haunting Wolverine in a third act flashback, which is really just like a screenwriting trope in which they'll try to humanize the antagonist during the film's climax. Like Anton Ego in Pixar's Ratatouille.
Don't use that as a formulaic one. That's like one of the best ones.
That
one's so good.
Super bad parody. And by the way, there is a theory that
what? It was
the reason the Ratatouille recipe works so well on Anton is that the farmhouse where Remy first glimpsed some recipes with the old woman who shoot him away.
Now we're talking about Ratatouille?
Was the same furniture of the farmhouse that young Anton lived in that flashback, and that Remy was actually making Anton's mom's recipe. But anyway, right?
Oh, okay, all right.
And Reynolds has always sought to subvert these screenwriting structural tropes, and with the 2016 Deadpool, he kind of interwove Wade's flashback throughout the film in the first and second.
Why is he saying like Ryan Reynolds made the fucking... Wait, what?
Mom's recipe. But anyway, Ryan Reynolds has always sought to subvert these screenwriting structural tropes, and with the 2016 Deadpool, he kind of interwove Wade's flashback throughout the film in the first and second act, really just leave the third act as all action. And with Cable and Deadpool 2...
Alright, I understand that he had creative control here and there, but to make it sound like he was like, he did everything is a little weird, but whatever.
Revealed what was haunting Cable with his introduction in Act 2.
There's other writers. The guys that do like the Zombieland movies, aren't those the guys that write Deadpool 1 and 2 at least? I don't know if they're doing the third one, but
go yourself.
I think they're part of it, but there's other people also.
Which is the iconic line he says to Charles in Magneto and X-Men First Class. Go yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna break down the rest of the trailer because there's like Madonna music in it, and they're gonna flag us. So Deadpool and Wolverine round a corner
Such a
past
good.
this cart for donuts.
I didn't get flagged. You'll be fine.
Bagels and churros, like the churro carts of Disneyland. There's a neon sign.
I can't even talk about the fresh hot donuts.
For a bar called Copperheads in a Marvel Comics series.
Yeah, there's a character named Copperhead.
There's a Serpent Society villain named Copperhead. Not sure if it's related. You'll notice
there's a DC character named Copperhead also, right? Right? Is that a Batman villain?
So Wolverine is now no sleeves, baby.
Yep.
And he looks a lot like he did in the 90s animated series version of the character.
They don't have the little, like, whatever.
The red X belt buckle. Yes, he doesn't have a mask, and he did take off like the shoulder pad armor parts. He just tore off everything that was there. Reportedly, Hugh Jackman was worried about skin cancer on his arms, which is something that he has dealt with before. So in the exterior shots, over in the dust of the void, the sleeves are on, whereas this setting looks covered. And it might just be me.
I mean, it looks pretty cool with the sleeves. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Boy is still jacked. His name's Hugh Jackman, but he's huge Jackman. He's huge jacked man.
But I know Hugh Jackman is incredibly jacked. But his arms, maybe they're just hairless, but they do kind of look really smooth. So maybe he's wearing some kind of sleeves. But also, I obviously don't know how arms like that are supposed to look. Deadpool is now carrying golden guns, which I think might be a reference to the dual golden guns of Face Off. Face Off definitely seems like the kind of movie Deadpool would reference at this point in the film. The 2016 movie ended with him stapling Hugh Jackman's face over
get your face off
for his face. The storefront
he loves stapling shit to his fucking head.
East Side
this is the ones people were referencing. The Liefeld. I don't know who Liefeld. I know Liefeld or whatever. He's like a comic guy. Like Just Feet. I never even know.
Center, and then Liefeld's Just Feet, Orthopedic Solutions, and amazing Easter egg. So Rob Liefeld is a co-creator of the Deadpool character, and he has been mocked over the years for his character designs with
I forgot about that.
Hulked out heroes.
That looks fucking awful. What the fuck is wrong with him?
With insane proportions, an abundance of pouches, and
I mean, that looks cool.
and apparently
The pouches are fine, whatever. Yeah, especially with Cable, he's gonna need like, little gadgets and shit.
apparent inability to draw feet. Notice.
Oh,
Says
okay.
quality
I thought you had like a thing for feet or something like that. I thought that was the joke.
Free consultation, custom footwear, 014-3877. So here in this void, the Rob Liefeld, or maybe his variant, who's a foot expert, got pruned
This is a joke.
from existence, and that could be why the Rob Liefeld of our reality is so bad at drawing feet. There's also a little Sage flowers and gifts. There's a mutant named Sage who was part of the Hellfire Club and recently played a big role on Krakoa, monitoring the gateway system and being part of X-Force. Now, in the car, Deadpool shows Wolverine his birthday party Polaroid with his friends, telling Wolverine, I don't know anything about saving worlds, but you do. So it seems like Wade's own reality is under threat. This could connect to the rumored plot device of anchors in this movie, where in every universe there exists one individual whose death triggers the collapse of their universe, like the Owen Reese Molecule Man plot in Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out storyline that leads into the 2015 Secret Wars event that Avengers Secret Wars will adapt. And maybe in Wade's universe, it's this lonely, suicidal Wolverine in the bar whose soul Deadpool has to save to keep him in place as an anchor. But to save that soul, he has to figure out what makes all Wolverines tick, including this other Wolverine down in the void, and other variants that we could see in this movie, like a patch Wolverine from the casino in the Super Bowl trailer, played by like Daniel Radcliffe or Taron Egerton. Wait.
Oh. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a rumor that other people were playing a Wolverine.
DR.
I guess it makes sense. Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah. I guess it makes sense because he does look a little skinnier here.
Wait, DR on the katana. Daniel Radcliffe? I don't know why you would put the actor's name on the ends of his katanas. The more you use something, the more perfect it's gotta be. A suitcase you use.
Why would he do anything? It's Deadpool. Also, they could have just CG'd that in for the trailer.
Once a year.
As a little for the Easter egg people out there. Ow.
Yeah, just give me whatever will fit enough clean underwear for the trip. But underwear? The stuff you wear all the time? Every day?
Sad.
That's gotta be perfect. That's gotta be MeUndies. Yeah. All different kinds of styles.
Damn, girl, you got
patterns.
that chunky.
You want something simple in a single color? They
got
got
the chunky
that.
monkey.
You want something super fun and vibrant? They got that too.
I don't.
Plus,
it's in my underwear.
Comes in sizes XS to 4XL, guaranteeing a
fat boy
cut
size
for everybody. And they're so comfortable. Oh,
now look
the
like a
fabric
floating
is so
head.
breathable. It's stretchy. It's just super soft. I got this pair, and honestly, they're my new go-to. I'm doing laundry every 3 days just so I can keep wearing these. MeUndies also has all kinds of joggers, hoodies, and onesies, so you can lounge around in MeUndies level comfort from head to toe. All of MeUndies products are made using sustainably sourced materials by partners that care for their workers. And if you're not happy with your first pair of MeUndies, it's on MeUndies. Good things come in big packages at MeUndies. Get 20% off your first order, plus free shipping.
I wonder if they called it MeUndies because
then
of
we get
the
this
room.
great close-up of Wolverine's claws.
The classic line MeUnderwears. Is that why they call it MeUndies? I wonder.
Knifting smoothly out of their metallic sheaths in his knuckles. And I feel like these slots would
probably
also have to be made out of adamantium to contain these claws so well so that they didn't tear through the gloves. So
yeah, I'm gonna also assume they help him because he's still having a hard time. Maybe. Or maybe it was just because he was drunk. Which I don't think he was ever having a hard time before when he was drunk, so.
From whatever timeline this Wolverine is from, Professor X and Beast and Forge or whoever it was had to get their hands on additional adamantium and create these awesome gloves. And while I assume the claws that we see here are VFX, they do add these little details to the metal, like surface texturing and smudges and reflections from the neighboring claws that all just make them feel real and super sharp. I just love
it looks
the shots
really
so much.
good.
Okay, next, some incredibly bloody shots in the snowy forest of Deadpool killing these TVA agents.
I feel like we needed one single real quick scene of those two killing enemies together in this trailer. It's fine. They'll save it for either the next trailer if we get another one or the actual movie. We'll probably get another trailer, but
if you look closely, Deadpool is using a tree branch. So he must be stabbing through this TVA armor with such incredible force to be able to smash through.
Or the TVA sucks just like they suck in season 1 and 2 of Loki.
Through the armor and sent pieces of the armor flying upward like that. So we're pretty sure that this setting is North Dakota near the Canadian border.
This is going to be, okay, all right. I don't know if that was where. No, it was definitely not. I thought everybody was saying this is going to be where Avengers Age of Ultron started.
Where in
just because it's snowy.
2017's Logan and the Young Mutants spot the Reavers and X-24
but it's snowy now.
On their way to freedom. And this is where Logan is buried. In a Super Bowl trailer, you can see in the background the truck that Richter overturned in that battle. So maybe Deadpool, finding the felled tree that X-24 impaled Logan on to deliver that killing blow, considers this tree sacred with some kind of divine power, and he just decides to use a branch that he tore off of it to kill these TVA agents the way Logan died, so that they have to feel his pain for desecrating the sacred turf. Okay, the next...
All right. If that's right, then shout outs.
Next shot shows.
I mean, I think all of it will be right. So, like, he uses the brand because he thinks it's divine. I don't know. Maybe he thinks it's divine. Why would he break the brand?
Cassandra Nova, played by Emma Corrin, coming from the open.
I thought that when I saw her, I was like, "Oh, it's what's her name? I forgot the actress name. She's in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and 3. I thought it was her at first." And then I realized, no, it's not. Who the fuck is that? I have no idea who
skull mouth of the corpse of a giant Ant-Man, which we do see a better shot of later. But in this first shot, you see behind her...
I'm assuming it's going to be Scott. Poor Scott. Just getting shit on. Oh, she has a little chair.
It appears to be a wheelchair that she initially rolled up in, but now she gets up. Maybe a kind of like Willy Wonka, I can actually walk kind of fake out introduction. So could this wheelchair be Charles's chair?
I was about to say it's probably Charles's chair.
Did Cassandra already kill Charles in her timeline? So just a reminder.
Of course she can.
Cassandra Nova is known as...
Of course, let's just watch Charles die again in the MCU. That'd be great. Like a fucking pussy.
Charles Xavier's evil twin, but it's actually darker and crazier than that. Cassandra was really Charles's Mumudrai, which is a term from the Shi'ar Empire. The Shi'ar are an alien race who we spent some time with in episode 6 of X-Men 97. A Mumudrai is kind of like a spiritual cosmic shadow self that every person has, but in the case of Charles Xavier, his advanced telepathy caused his Mumudrai to manifest in flesh, a fetus joining him in the womb. These two fetuses fought, and Charles destroyed her, but part of her clung to life in a sewer and grew into Cassandra Nova, who comes back for revenge, and Grant Morrison's E is for Extinction storyline in 2001 and 2002. And
comics are weird.
He is one of the most savage villains in all of X-Men comics. And yes, she does actually wear a tan trench coat and pants and boots looking exactly like this in the comics. So Cassandra in the comics finds in the jungles of Ecuador a master mold, a giant sentinel printing machine, and uses that.
That's an X-Men 97 also.
And Boulevard Trask to print a wild sentinel, a 3-headed kaiju that she deploys against Genosha to kill 6...
That was in that one episode of 97.
Million mutants. We actually see this massacre in X-Men 97. Yep. We're kind of waiting to see if Cassandra Nova is behind this attack, or if it's the doing of another villain that they've introduced in the show, like Sinister, or maybe Bastion or Apocalypse.
I think it'll probably be the Nova lady.
It'd be all of them. But I just love that casting Emma Corrin, who's best known for playing the younger Diana Spencer in The Crown, as someone who hates, above all else, an Englishman named Charles. That's pretty perfect, right? So Deadpool...
it's great.
Slashes his adamantium katanas at Wolverine's claws, and going frame by frame through this, I'm just so amazed at Hugh Jackman's rage that Deadpool would have the nerve. Deadpool crosses his katanas between the first and second of Wolverine's claws to stop the attack. And it looks like the sword has these golden edges. You actually see these golden edges in close-up later as this TVA tailor with the white gloves carefully slides these adamantium katanas into the sheath on Deadpool's back. And in the CinemaCon footage, this is a guy who keeps slapping Deadpool's ass, and Deadpool...
Hell yeah, bro. I thought he was slapping his own ass.
...tells the other TVA employee that this guy's a predator, and they need to call HR. Now, this blue...
No, maybe Deadpool's like, you better slap my ass.
Blue van, it seems to be the same bloody vehicle that Deadpool was in that Super Bowl trailer where the seats were covered in bloody Wolverine claw marks and Deadpool was like waving them in. And now we see Wolverine responding to that.
So they're fighting each other in the car,
lunging toward Wade in the back seat of this van. But in a wide shot, Deadpool just suddenly flies up through the sunroof. What happened there? Notice you don't really see Wolverine in that particular shot.
I wonder if they're editing somebody out of there. Like there's a CG monster or something.
Of the car from the outside, and I feel like the slapstick physics could be explained by Deadpool planking atop Wolverine's body, and Wolverine is just like, get the hell off me, and thrust Deadpool in the air.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like he's down there, but I was thinking maybe it's also a CG, something above. No, because it looks like he's about to fall.
Because he's like a super lightweight cartoon. Then we get this cool shot of Cassandra Nova sipping a teacup. I might be totally wrong about this, but her teacup looks like it might be patterned with the heraldry of Wrexham AFC. That's the football club owned by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. You do see what looks like a W and maybe the dragon, but instead of red, it's gold. I might just be seeing things there. But there is this wide shot of the purple cloud of a lion covering the sun. And in this shot, you can see that it's not just Ant-Man's head, it is the entire giant body. So this detail is inspired by Old Man Logan, the amazing and gnarly comic series.
I really wanted to read that. Like right when Logan came out, I was gonna buy it, but then everybody bought it. So I was just like, all right, well, couldn't find it anywhere. Now I think you can. So.
Where an elderly Logan partners with a blind Clint Barton on this crazy road trip.
And isn't Hulk old and stuff too?
Post-apocalyptic America, where basically the villains have won, and at one point they pass the corpse of a giant Hank Pym. And now it's not clear if this giant Ant-Man is Hank Pym, which would be Michael Douglas, or Scott Lang, Paul Rudd. But if it is the
I hope it's Hank Pym because Michael Douglas wants to die in this universe.
He could have come from the Battle of Earth in Avengers Endgame. Also, remember that in the Void in Loki Episode 5 was the giant helmet of Yellow Jacket that could be connected to this. But this helmet opens to reveal...
Or it was just an Easter egg because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing at Marvel. So, which is very apparent if you really think about some of these movies and how they connect. Well, who knows?
Feel the skull with the teeth underneath. The fact that Cassandra Nova lives inside of this corpse is so cool. It reminds me of characters in the MCU using
fucking cool.
The skull of the Celestial Nowhere as a place
to just shit on Ant-Man some more.
Live. Also, the rumors that the corpse of Tiamat, the Celestial, could be used as the Avengers' new base. Like how in the comics, the Avengers turned the
don't bring that up again.
Progenitor.
No one knew there was a big Celestial. Whatever.
To Avengers Mountain at the North Pole. Now, in the shot of Cassandra inside of this place later, it almost looks like she could be building some kind of Cerebro inside that skull. But I actually think this is specific to being Ant-Man's corpse. In Quantumania, Scott Lang entered the quantum realm's probability storm, where his brain became entangled with all other Scott Langs in the multiverse. And that could have done something to his brain matter, as well as the minds of all other Scotts. Like Cassandra could be using this particular weird brain to amplify her telepathy throughout the multiverse.
If they were smart, they wouldn't bring up anything from Ant-Man and Quantumania.
Now, this giant Ant-Man reveal is just the master shot of the trailer because it has so much in it. So many cameos. So right up front there, that's
Azazel from First Class. He's in a bunch of...
the devilish teleporting member of the...
Is it Nightcrawler's father or something?
Fire Club from X-Men First Class, played by Jason Fleming. He's back, as well as Lady Deathstrike.
I didn't even notice Lady Deathstrike. I love X2 also.
From X2, X-Men United, played by Kelly Hu. You can also see Aaron Stanford, Pyro.
Yeah, there's Pyro.
In the background right, seated on his vehicle as he was back in the Super Bowl trailer. And then on the left, that is Callisto, Danya Ramirez, leader of the Omegas from X-Men The Last Stand. And
where's the Porcupine Head guy? Played by, what's his name? I forgot.
Crouching beside her with the green hair, that is
Toad.
Ray
Nice.
Park, returning with the very first X-Men film in 2000.
Oh my god!
So, of course, played Darth Maul in Star Wars.
He played Snake Eyes.
Phantom Menace. And all
I
the way
beat
on the
him.
left,
He's
in
not
the
gonna bring it
foreground,
up?
you don't even really notice him at
Is it
first
Blob?
because his face is covered, but notice that long blonde hair. I'm pretty sure
Sabretooth?
this is Sabretooth, Tyler Mane, who would also be returning for that first film. Meanwhile, the bulky dude in the red and white striped shirt, this could be the Russian who's played by...
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. Dude, the story about this is amazing. This fight between Thomas Jane and Kevin Nash in the Punisher movie, where like I think he was actually stabbed, legitimately stabbed, and he still he kept fighting while being stabbed. Kevin Nash is a badass.
Wrestler Kevin Nash and Thomas Jane's 2004 The Punisher. Now, what the mutant characters have in common is that they're all villains from the X-Men universe,
supposedly
1005, as it is currently designated, and all these characters die. Like Wolverine killed Lady Deathstrike by plugging her with liquid adamantium in Stryker's lab. Azazel was killed off-screen by Bolivar Trask's experiments between X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past. Toad and Sabretooth both died in the
same thing as everything else. Lightning and Toad.
For the island battle, Callisto was knocked out by Storm and was for sure obliterated by Phoenix when she wiped out everyone on Alcatraz. Pyro, presumed obliterated as well, but in the Days of Future Past Rogue Cut, there is a memorial that includes Pyro's Zippo lighter, implying that he would have died sometime after that. I think the implication of the pruned 20th century Fox logo and the fact that it's not 21st century tells us that there was some incursion with Earth 10005.
Or it was just pruned because it doesn't count anymore.
And that this entire history from the Fox era was erased. And maybe some souls might have been lucky and spared and reassigned reassigned to other universes, but these were the misfits who were left behind to waste. The vehicles in the shot are also
the background characters that literally nobody cares about, except maybe Pyro. Lady Deathstrike is a cool villain for X2, but like not much to her.
Mentioning because in the background on the left, that is the Fantastic Four Model 1, aka the Flying Bathtub, a version of which we saw in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, a movie that we're breaking down this weekend on New Rockstars. But
cool. I like those Fantastic Four movies. I don't care.
Right,
they're fun. I don't care. Ghost Rider, same thing. Both Ghost Rider movies, don't care. Daredevil, the director's cut is fun. What else? I like the Hulk movie, the Ang Lee one. I don't give a fuck. Is it a little fucked up that they got the guy named Ang Lee to direct the movie about a guy that's angry? Everybody makes that fucking joke.
16 Coupe.
What else? There's other ones. Fantastic Four, Daredevil.
Skull from Captain America: The First Avenger. But notice in the next
Punisher, I actually like that one too.
Shot that
and Punisher Warzone. I don't give a fuck. Shout out to Ray Stevenson, rest in peace. But I really like that movie. It's fucking stupid, goofy, and bad, but I like it.
Hydra Mercedes hood ornament has been replaced with an Iron Man head, and it has been painted to have the flames on black decor of Tony Stark's Roadster hot rod from the 2008 Iron Man film. This is so cool. So my hot take is that the masked driver of this vehicle could be, wait for it, Terrence Howard, the original roadie, pruned to the...
That would be really funny.
Void. Now Terrence Howard parted ways with Marvel under bitter terms before Iron Man 2, when Don Cheadle replaced him.
Hey.
Maybe the...
Was it still Paramount when he got fired? Because it was Paramount originally when Iron Man, right? Was it Paramount? I think it was Paramount, right? Yeah, so maybe, I don't know.
Part as scripted.
Or did Disney fire him? Because I think Paramount, they didn't, wait, did they? Yeah, they distributed The Incredible Hulk also, right? Whatever.
Script could give him a chance to get the last laugh. If it's not Terrence Howard, my guess is that it's going to be someone else from Tony Stark's orbit. Maybe Harley Keener, maybe Christine Everhart, or maybe William Ginter Riva. Like the guy could have figured out how to make something from a box of script.
Oh, maybe it would be Jeff Bridges.
Perhaps. I just listed a couple lower tier actors because
Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
The 16 shot is the Golden Gate Bridge that was pruned from the events of X-Men: The Last Stand. We see Wolverine gargling with a bottle of Jack Daniels. I assume this is his man cave where he lives. We know from a later shot in the trailer that this is the same location that has the giant jawbone framed bed that Hulk slept on in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, cool. I hear the
quick cameo by Dogpool.
Dogpool, yeah.
Wearing little shoes.
Oh,
licks Deadpool with
let me notice the little shoes.
Longest,
so yeah, the tongue is fucking gross.
Disgusting tongue. And notice that they are in front of Liefeld's just feet as it explodes. Then we get this Mad Max Fury Road type shot of one of these scavengers raining 4 motorcycles like horses. The one closest to us.
I didn't even notice that. I thought it was just like, I didn't even notice there were motorcycles. I thought it was just like a little... I didn't even notice that. I thought they were just like... I've watched this trailer like 7 times. And I didn't notice there were motorcycles. I thought they were just like... It was like one big machine with just a bunch of...
Is the Hydra motorcycle from Captain America: The First Avenger. You can see the Hydra logo near the bottom of it. One of these other motorcycles is definitely the one Steve Rogers rode in that film. The vehicle that they are towing is the one that has the Canadarm attachment used with the NASA Space Shuttle Columbia. And the dish on the end of that arm looks like the Bifrost pattern, and I think it's used to repel
looks like
or
the
to
Sing
summon
copy logo.
An explosion rocks these 4 guys, and if you look closely at the walls behind them, these are actually the gloved fingers of the giant Ant-Man functioning as the gates to this compound. And that's such a cool detail. In Cassandra's lair, Wolverine
He's real hyped that Ant-Man's dead.
to attack.
It is cool.
But she telekinetically redirects his arms into his own leg. Yeah. Emma Corrin is so...
I mean, to be fair, I'm sure, well, maybe not this version of Wolverine. I'm sure he's used to being controlled by somebody with slight, like, kind of telekinetic powers. Fucking every time Magneto is like, oh, fuck. It's
fun to watch here. The face they make as Cassandra puppets Wolverine, it's almost as if to say, wah, wah, so close. Also, take a look at Cassandra's fingers. Is it just me, or do they look super long? Did they digitally enlarge Emma Corrin's hands to make Cassandra look more...
No, she's got really long fingers. She got salad fingers. Salad, shouts to salad fingers.
I don't know, it may just be the anamorphic lens that they seem to be using for a lot of these shots. Like, it's especially noticeable in the money shot of the giant Ant-Man head compound where you see all the cameos. Like, notice how the edges of that frame are just kind of like a little out of focus, a little like artistic, brushstrokey. That's what an anamorphic lens does as opposed to a spherical lens. But then we see Cassandra directing Wolverine's claws into the floor, and notice how even this floor is textured in some interesting way. It's almost like she scavenged this floor from somewhere else. And I want to say it could be like the walls of Camartage. It kind of just looks like there's different patterns and pieces to this floor with some like engravings on them. Okay, so Wolverine and Deadpool leap from their van, and the grip guards of Deadpool's katanas have these little Deadpool eyes on them.
One second. All right, I had to pause real quick. All right, back to it.
So Wolverine and Deadpool leap from their van, and the grip guards of Deadpool's katanas have these little Deadpool eyes on them. Yeah. So when Deadpool stabs someone, the last thing they would see is just another little Deadpool face staring at them. Both Deadpool.
I guess if you're stabbing them through the face, then
then Wolverine say, "Let's fucking go!" And then they take the huge leap.
Which I felt like is a. I'm gonna say that was a joke against reaction channels. That's my theory. I feel like I don't say "let's fucking go" a lot. Maybe I do. I don't know. A lot of channels do. They say "let's fucking go" a lot.
From the eye hole of the Ant-Man skull, and then they leave.
There's reaction channels where you can count all the times they say "let's fucking go" in a reaction. And it's like you're using both hands to count
into a sling ring portal, and one of these must have been cast by a sorcerer. Maybe Doctor Strange or Wong.
That looks so bad.
Or the Ancient One.
Dude, the special effects in that movie are pretty good.
One of these
but that eye looks so bad right there. Look how bad that looks. Come on. That looks awful.
Strange, or Wong, or the Ancient One, or America Chavez, or Rintra, or I guess technically Ned. In Spider-Man No Way Home, sling ring portals just like this where you used to open.
Isn't there like a shot where people were saying like in the first trailer where you could see like the back of someone's head and people were saying, oh, like you could see like they're bald, and people were saying, oh, that could be Ned. I'm like, what? And I also heard some people say it could be what's his name from Deadpool 2, the fire guy or whatever. Was he a fire guy? Yeah, he was a fire guy.
Between universes to get the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire Peter Parkers into the MCU. And I feel like that's where these two are headed. And I love how the lighting within Eliath behind this portal flickers just as they cross the portal threshold, which gives the shot some great purple versus gold color contrast as these two are silhouetted on white. And it recalls how in Spider-Man No Way Home.
And it's obvious they're hiding something there, right? It's just white there. I feel like there's going to be something there that's a spoiler they don't want to show yet, so they just made it white. Or maybe not.
Recalls how in Spider-Man No Way Home, the purple reality rifts showed incursions between universes. Now, notice how this trailer whites out the destination. I don't think it's going to look like that in the movie. I think they just left it blank in this trailer to avoid a huge spoiler, and it lets our imaginations wander.
At least they didn't leave a part where like a character is obviously looking at somebody or getting kicked by someone you can't see. I still can't believe they left that in there. For the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, wasn't like I think it was Lizard that gets kicked, right? And he goes, oh, and you can tell they're all looking at somebody too while they're going. But there's also, I don't know if it was in the trailer, but it was in like a TV spot or something where they're like someone's like obviously getting attacked, and I can't believe they left that in. They must have. I'm hoping they did that on purpose,
fill in that
and they just missed that somehow.
Candace, but think about
because how would you miss that? Because you would have to intentionally take the characters out for the trailers, right? Why didn't you just take Lizard out of that shot too? Or replace him with different characters? That would have been funny. Like you just see, like out of nowhere, you just see like Doctor Strange there instead. Like in the trailer, you're like, oh, Doctor Strange shows up, and then people will be like, oh, maybe it's not true. Then maybe Maguire and Garfield aren't going to be in it.
What? Setting would be so iconic that we would recognize it immediately. I'm thinking this is going to be one of the portals that Wong opened to the front line of the Battle of Earth and Avengers Inc.
You know what? I'd be down.
We're going to cycle back to that moment, and right as he says he wanted more, Deadpool and Wolverine are going to walk right into frame.
That's pretty good. Wait, that's a good edit.
And we're going to see a replay of the Battle of Earth. Like, we're going to hear Deadpool say, I am Deadpool, as he snaps the Infinity Stone in Tony Stark's place to kill Thanos. Because the CinemaCon footage gave us this little tease that we see Deadpool.
Don't worry, we won't ruin the Logan ending, but we will definitely 100% ruin Endgame.
in Thor's arms from Svartalfheim and Thor the Dark World, where Loki died.
Oh, I see your green screen.
And Paradox says it's a distant future, but really I think what they're saying with that is that Deadpool could cycle into any iconic MCU moment, so why not I Am Iron Man? And also in the CinemaCon footage, there was another moment that showed an earlier scene of the movie where Peter says, "We are Deadpool," and Deadpool rejects that.
Oh, Peter. Okay, never mind.
Footage. There was another moment.
I was like, Peter. I was like, what part? Oh, you're talking about the Rob Delaney. Is that the actor's name?
Showed an earlier scene of the movie where Peter says, "We are Deadpool," and Deadpool rejects that. And I think the way Ryan Reynolds says, "I am Marvel Jesus,"
I am Marvel Jesus.
I think this is to set him up to say Tony Stark's big line to save MCU's anchor.
I think that was just a joke for that moment, but yeah. I don't know about setup. It might have just been a joke there, like, "Oh, he's gonna
say I am Deadpool." But I just saw this. If you look closely, you can see.
I don't know if I want to hear him say, "I am Deadpool." Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see her.
Cassandra Nova to the left of Wolverine. As
I've noticed. I did notice that in one of my rewatches.
Jumping through the portal just on the
edge. Not that I wasn't blown away. Also, she looks weird there. She's like.
There in the background smiling at them.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they're working together at this point, right?
With a raised eyebrow, and I think that might be blood on her mouth. So clearly she wants them to make this jump, and maybe she plans on following them. Okay, the trailer ends with Wade and Blind Al at
or they're working at
birthday party, which was also in the CinemaCon footage.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching band?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupter?
Even force
bump. Like white girl interrupter.
So this pillow behind Al is the Smoko Macho Nacho Mochi plushie. It's a nacho dead from hot sauce. So basically what Conan O'Brien looks like now, I assume. Blind Al's cocaine calls back the past two films when their cocaine stash was hidden beneath the floorboards near The Cure for Blindness. Among their euphemisms for cocaine are white girl interrupter.
God, I miss cocaine, which is Girl Interrupted.
Did a nod to the 1999 film with Winona Ryder and Angelina Jolie and Brittany Murphy, as well as Forrest Bump, which other than rhyming with Forrest
Lump, which is porn parody.
I choose to think it's a reference to how
Forrest. I could have said Forrest Hump, but I think Lump is better because he has a big.
Forrest Gump can't stop running, or maybe a reference to when Jenny tried to jump off a ledge after doing lines. Now, to be clear,
I think it's just Forrest Bump because it's a bump of cocaine.
Cocaine was referenced in the MCU in an episode of Ms. Marvel, so Feige doesn't have that hard of a rule against it. But Blind Al ends this by saying, "Do you want to build a snowman?"
Well, obviously he doesn't have a rule against it because he brought it up in the chat.
It's referencing Frozen, and Wade says that he does want to but can't. And it reminds us how in Deadpool 2, Wade watches Barbra Streisand musical
it sounds like the Frozen song.
Gentle and makes this observation.
Yep.
Can you hear me? Is it just me, or does
Frozen just stole that fucking song?
Do you want to build a snowman from Frozen sounds suspiciously like Papa Can You Hear Me from Dental?
So we must end this trailer breakdown with our Taylor Swift Dazzler line.
Don't care.
If you have been following
Don't care.
You know that since the NFL playoffs, I've been looking closely at Taylor Swift's connections to Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy and Hugh Jackman to see if she could cameo in this movie, maybe to play the mutant Dazzler, as it seemed like she was expected to in 2016's X-Men Apocalypse, because she was like friends with Sophie Turner, and there's like a photo of her with like a Dazzler album cover. And I was totally ready to just give up on this theory, but then last week, Taylor Swift releases her new album, The Tortured Poets Department, and the final track on the standard edition of that album, Clara Bow, ends with her singing this word.
The future's bright, dazzling.
Dazzling.
Fuck off.
I mean, come on. Taylor Swift is known for Easter eggs in her songs pointing to her past boyfriends.
It's probably gonna happen. I'm not saying fuck off like it's not gonna happen. I just don't care. Personally, don't care at all. Don't even when it happens in the theater, I'll be the only motherfucker in the theater that's like, don't care. Well, maybe not the only one, but one of the few. I know.
And her future career moves. I'm not saying this is like a smoking gun, but the clues are at least pointing in that direction. Comment down below.
It's gonna happen.
With what you love the most about.
Like, why wouldn't it? Taylor Swift has been in plenty of movies in the past. She's been in shit movies that nobody's seen. Wait, they couldn't get her for one cameo for this movie where they have like probably like a $200 million budget, most likely, maybe even more, probably more.
This trailer, follow me at EA Boss, subscribe to all 3 channels in the New Rockstars Network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, there's a good video. Nice little breakdown. I'm not gonna do a reaction for everyone, which I'm sure nobody gives a shit. And when I say everyone, I mean every future new Rockstar's video, but I thought that was fun to watch. Yeah, I actually learned some new stuff there. That's nice. That's always good. That's always a good thing. You're learning things for learning things. People can't draw feet. Really loves the Ant-Man's Dead. Dude, boy loves Ant-Man's Dead. I think it's cool too. Not that he's dead. It's the idea of that she's living in the corpse. But he kept bringing up how much he fucking loves Ant-Man's Dead. After watching Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I wanted him fucking dead too. So anyway, not the character. Just I never wanted to see another one of the. Quantumania is the worst MCU movie. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's so beyond terrible. It's so fucking bad. And yes, what's his name was good in it. I don't think his character was good, but I think he was good at it. Most of the actors did fine. It's just, even the other bad MCU movies, the actors do a good job for the most part. But dude, what's his name again? Fucking Cringe Lord? Not the actor. Well, even though he might be a Cringe Lord too. Jonathan Majors. But what's Kang? The character's name? Kang. Horrible villain. I don't understand why anybody thought he was good. He's sinister and whatever. At first I was like, yeah, he's fine. And then I thought about it more. I'm like, no, his ass is he's just a generic villain and he has nothing. Again, it's only because Jonathan Majors does a good job, but everything else, the writing in his character and with his decisions, his plan, he gets beat by ants and then gets beat by Ant-Man. You don't introduce a character that gets beat by Ant-Man and he's supposed to be the big villain for the whole arc. I get there's supposed to be a million Kangs and stuff, but you can't just here's Jonathan Majors, here he is as Kang. It might be one version of Kang, but you're gonna stick with that Kang. You're gonna stick with when you see him, you're like, all right, that's Kang. That's Kang. So when you see him again, even if it's not the same Kang, you're gonna be like, oh, I remember when Kang got his ass beat by Ant-Man, the guy that gets fucking made fun of more than pretty much any other fucking MCU character. And sure, I guess Wasp was there too, but by the way, him and Michelle Pfeiffer are the only things I would even say were worth noting. Again, and Paul Rudd's good. It's just I always like Paul Rudd, but I don't know. Anyway, that movie sucks. So anyway, Deadpool and Wolverine trailer breakdown, Easter eggs, and details you missed. I did miss some of those, so good job. Ding! Bye.